Thanks for being with us here on this Friday before the primary election, which is kind of hard to believe, but yes, indeed, that is the case. The primary election coming up on Tuesday. We're joined on the line. I believe I heard the voice of Commissioner Mike Keith in there, and also the county's chief clerk, Robin Maryai, and I believe Danielle Clifford and Debra Streams with us as well from the elections office. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Good morning.
Morning, Todd.
Morning, Todd.
It's good to have you all with us. Did I get it all right? Did I have the roster okay?
Yep, we're all here.
All right, terrific stuff. All right, and Commissioner Keith will ask you to lead off the discussion. The election coming up on Tuesday, and it's a pretty big election, and so folks wondering, what are the changes? What are the things I need to know about the election coming up? And what am I voting for in this primary election?
Well, I'll go ahead and lead off, but I think the proper introduction here is to actually give it over to the people who primary do the work on behalf of the county residents to facilitate this whole process. So these are the people that are expertise on it, and I'm just going to let them go and start answering your questions.
Beautiful. Let's start with Debra Streams. County elections are big, and people talk about off-year elections. There's no such thing, is there, Debra?
No, there isn't. We're busy all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are we going to be looking at on the ballot this year?
This is Robin Maryai, the chief clerk. There will be the three statewide judge races, Supreme, Commonwealth, and Superior Court, and then we'll have our local judge court of common pleas race. Then we have a couple row offices, the county coroner, the county treasurer. We have the MDJ in the Homer City area, and then we have all of our local races with the township supervisors, borough council, county or township auditors, the election poll workers, the mayors, the tax collectors. There's quite an extensive list of municipal offices up this time.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, school board elections, all of these things are a part of it.
Forgot school board, yep.
With all of these elections, this is the time when people on a local angle, I mean, we're talking right down there at the base of government, the people who are making decisions for us in our daily lives. These are the people that we are voting on right now and the positions that we're voting on. And so folks need to really pay attention. And there are some constitutional amendment questions on the ballot this year, are there not?
Yes, we have four questions, statewide questions, that every voter will actually be able to vote this time, even if you're other than Republican or Democratic. Everybody else, the nonpartisans, will be eligible to vote in this election on those questions. And then we also have a special election in the 60th legislative district, and all residents in Blacklick, Conemaugh, and Young will be able to vote as well on those races.
Yeah, that is the Jeff Pyle seat. He had to retire due to health reasons, so that is up for a special election. So there's a lot to be decided in this election coming up this week, and I'm interested in if there are any polling place changes or polling procedure changes.
Yes, we do have some polling place changes. Armstrong, I didn't bring my list, I apologize for that. Armstrong number 1, I think it is, they're moving from the event hall to Fairman Family Farms. Conemaugh 3, they used to vote at the Smith Bus Garage. They will move to the American Legion on Route 286. We had a couple others that we used previously last election, but until further notice, we have Pratt Hall is going to vote in Zinc. Both precincts will be in one place. Blairsville 2 and 3 will be at the community center there in Blairsville. And missing one. Summit Church has replaced the YMCA.
Okay.
So all those voters in White 6 will be at the Summit Church.
All right.
So, as far as procedures, it's the same. The procedures are all the same.
Mm-hmm. Debbie, Danielle, let's bring you into this conversation from the Elections Bureau standpoint. What do folks need to know that you want to get out there today?
Just get out and vote. But if they're doing absentees, it's very important that they sign their name and date it on that envelope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit. The deadline has come and gone now for people to apply for the absentee ballot, the mail-in ballot, and that has been something that has been a bit of a sore point in the last couple of elections, particularly the one last November. There are some specific things that we need to know when we're using a mail-in ballot, are there not?
Yes. I mean, mainly the big thing is use your secrecy envelope, and then make sure you sign and date it, because they did change the envelope. And actually, I think it's easier to use.
It is.
Just a date and a signature is what is required to be accepted.
Yeah, okay. And are there drop boxes, or are these strictly mail-in?
Yes, there's a drop box right inside the front door of the courthouse, and voters will have until 8 p.m. on Election Day to drop their ballots off.
And only on Election Day, or can they be dropped off now?
They can be dropped off now until Election Day at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
p.m.
All right, so people...
But the courthouse hours are 8:30 to 4, so until rest of today and Monday, they can come in 8:30 to 4, but on Election Day, we will be open till 8 p.m.
Okay. All right. So this is a primary election. Probably a good idea to explain to people what a primary election is, maybe for particularly younger folks who have not voted in an election before. There's been a push to get people registered to vote, and if they've not done it before, they might not understand exactly what's going on. So if one of you could take that ball and run with it a little bit, what does a primary election do, and what is a primary election all about?
In Pennsylvania, we have closed primaries, which means that typically only Republican and Democratic voters can vote for their respective parties. But since we have the questions and the special election, the non-partisans can vote as well. But in a primary election, you will have whatever the amount for the office to vote for, that will lead into your fall election. So let's say if it's only vote for one, if you have candidates, your candidates from each party will nominate from the primary to the fall, in which in the fall, November, they will be elected.
And it's important for folks to understand that what you're doing typically is you're electing somebody who will appear on the November general election ballot. So that's what you're doing as a Republican or as a Democrat. You're choosing your party's candidate for the November general election.
That's correct.
All right. So all of those are things that we need to understand about what's coming up. The special election, though, that's different, isn't it?
Correct. The special election, there are three candidates, a Democratic, a Republican, and I think it's a Libertarian. Again, a Libertarian. So they will just have the party name beside their name on the ballot, and as I said, everybody can vote on that.
Okay.
Registered vote.
So those are things that folks, no matter what they're registered as, they can vote in the special election and on the constitutional amendment questions.
Yes.
And so people need to understand that as well. All of that a part of this week's, or next week's, I should say, November or spring primary election. Boy, I'm getting all confused here. So that's going to be, the polls are going to open up at what time?
They open at 7 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m.
All right. And so all over Indiana County, all over Pennsylvania, folks will be voting in the primary election. What else do we need to know? Any of you can weigh in here. What else do we need to know about the election coming up?
Just get out to vote. Your municipal elections are very important. You're electing who's going to control your government in your local level. And it's not, like you said before, a lot of people think this is an off election, but really this is an important election.
Absolutely is. Hey, we appreciate all of you for joining us today. Robin Maryai has been with us, Debbie Streams, Danielle Clifford, Mike Keith, the county commissioner, with us as well. Let's get everybody out there to vote on Tuesday, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM and AM 1160.